And back with Hayes and Button to talk about the Habs now. Guys, 1 month from the start of the NHL playoffs, and the Montreal Canadiens are in playoff position. Craig, after last night's win over the Sens, what do you think the Habs' chances are of making the postseason?
I think they're really good. We can look at the process that they've deployed, but since the Four Nations face-off, they've been a really good team, one of the best records. Their top line, one of the top lines. And you start getting on this, what I call this magical roll, and now you can ride it. And I think the Montreal Canadiens are riding. I mean, are you going to take the New York Rangers seriously? Detroit Red Wings and Columbus seem to have fallen off. The path is wide open for the Montreal Canadiens. They talk about the environment in the Bell Center. There's no better environment come playoff time than a playoff game at the Bell Center in Montreal. It's unbelievable. And I think the players are feeling it. There's an excitement in terms of how they play, and there's excitement all the way around them. They're taking that, they're bottling it up, and they're letting it loose. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I didn't feel that way 5 days ago, 2 days ago. But after watching what they did against the Ottawa Senators and seeing where other teams are stumbling, I'm going to put my chips in on the Montreal Canadiens to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they smell blood in the water here, guys. Everything you just said, Craig. Why would you have faith in the New York Rangers? They've shown who they are all season long, right? Columbus is starting to fade. Detroit's starting to fade. And I think the Habs are looking at this and saying, we will take this opportunity and we will run with it. And they did that in the third period last night against Ottawa. Go back to the game on Saturday night against Florida. That was a dismantling of the Cup champs. Like, they realize, okay, it's go time here. We're not back at the starting line where it's a marathon. This is a sprint. And I think everything Craig said is very important to point out, too. The Bell Center, when they smell blood, when the fans start to realize we've got something going here, it's a cheat code. Nowhere else in the league has it. It's a cheat code for the Habs. They've got that top line that's been great. Lane Hudson continues to play really well. Montembeau's playing the best goaltending of his career. And I also think, you mentioned the Four Nations faceoff, which I think is a line of demarcation for this team. I'd go back also to the trade deadline, Craig, where they decided we're not selling here. Right? We're not going to sell Dvorak. We're not going to try to move off Anderson and Gallagher and Savard. All those veteran players are factoring in. They factored in a lot on Tuesday night, more so than Caulfield did, more so to an extent than Suzuki did. It was Anderson and Gallagher and Dvorak. So there was a message sent. We believe that you can go do this. They smell blood in the water. I think they're going to pounce as well. This Habs team has been very, very impressive. They deserve to be in the position they're in right now.
Some great points. They have indeed become a really interesting team to watch. And one of the keys to this Montreal magical run has to be rookie defenseman Lane Hudson. He is fourth in points among defensemen, and he leads all rookies in scoring. Craig, just how high is Hudson's ceiling?
I think it's pretty high. We're talking about somebody that can control the game. How many defenders in the National Hockey League can control the game? You probably get to your second hand and you don't fill your second hand. His ability to dictate the game, to control the game, it's amongst the best defenders, not rookie defenders, defenders in the entire league. He's got magnificent imagination. He's got that creativity. But more than that, Rod, he's got this inner confidence that no matter what he's confronted with, he can find a way to get the better of it. I've said this about Lane Hudson for a lot of years now, and I said it before he came into the NHL full-time this year. I have yet to see a level where Lane Hudson is not only capable of meeting the expectations and meeting the challenges, but where he exceeds them and where he performs at a brilliant level. My prohibitive favorite for the Rookie of the Year, and quite frankly, I can talk about others. He's my number one, and I don't see anybody unseating him. A big reason, and back to the magical atmosphere of the Bell Center, Brian, he brings magic on the ice, and you know he's feeding off that magic in the Bell Center.
Oh, no question about that. I'm trying to imagine looking a little further ahead, too, guys. Imagine Hudson and Quinn Hughes suiting up for Team USA at next year's Olympics. Neither were on the ice when Canada beat the Americans in the final at the Four Nations face-off. Bryan Hayes, Craig Button, thank you both.